The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert, and we are ready to bring you some feel good vibes this morning. Our feel good topic of the day is the evolution of music. We're going to be focusing on music from the 1970s to the teens to the 2010s. And our feel good vibe of the day is joke time with Jacky. So if you love Jacky's dad jokes / corny jokes, you're definitely in for a treat. I know I like them. I definitely get a kick out of them most days. Some days I'm a little stumped, but we're going to see if I can figure out the jokes today or not. Before we get into that, let's see who is tuned in with us as we get ready to start the show with our feel good warm up. I see that we have Kathy Rogers. Good morning to you, Kathy.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us. And everyone, as you're joining us, make sure you drop a good morning message in the comments because we're going to get started with our feel good warm up. And today we're talking about all things music. So for our warm up, we want to know, what is your favorite genre of music and why? So as you're joining us, after you say good morning or as you say good morning, let us know what your favorite genre of music is and why. Jacky's going to kick us off because I feel like Jacky is a music lover. She loves music. So Jacky, what's your favorite genre of music?
I'm like a 90s R&B freak. I do listen to everything though. Like some people have come into my house and I'm blasting classical, and a few people have been like, one of my good friends, she used to do ballet. So she walked in and she was looking at me. She's just like, you listen to classical? And I'm like, yeah. She's just like, but you're like, I was just on my bed, I'm not just laying there. And she's just like, that's crazy. Remember, I'm a ballerina, right? And I'm like, oh my God, this is your jam too. So she's just like, yes. And, but I do really like my R&Bs. It's something about, maybe it's because in the 90s, I used to enjoy watching the music videos of the guys out in the rain, and they're like spinning in the rain and they're passionate. You had Mary J that was in the rain. It was just, they were so dramatic and passionate with it that it just drew me in. And then, of course, it's about love. And, well, some of it's about love.
Some of it. I don't love it.
Some of it, most of it's about love, but some of it's like toxic. Like, someone please call 911. And you're like, what? Like, when you get older, right? Now that you're older, you're like, whoa, that was not a relationship they should have been in.
Absolutely not. So I see we have some more comments coming in. Good morning to you, Mish. How you doing? Mish said that his favorite genre of music is jungle. He's gonna have to explain it because I'm a little bit familiar with that because I know the types of music that Misha listens to, but you're gonna have to explain why that genre, Mish. I actually wanted to piggyback, or I wanted to continue something you mentioned, Jack, around R&B music, because that's actually what spawned the decision for us to talk about it today. We're going to bring in a tweet from Issa Rae, and it was really funny because her tweet and then the responses to the tweet were like, yes, R&B music used to be so over the top, especially the male groups. Like, we had some female groups, they weren't as dramatic, I feel, as the men, and maybe that's just because women are generally looked at as being emotional, so it's kind of like, okay, we expect that from the women, but when the guys do it, it's like a thing. It was a thing.
The women were chill. Like, if you look at Brandy, she was just like sitting up in my room, and she was literally just sitting up in her room looking out the window, chilling in her bed, writing in her journal. And then you had Monica, playing with her makeup, walking around. The song was dramatic, but she was just chilling. Unless she switched to like country or no, you could go to oh my god, it just slipped my mind. But it was just like Jasmine Sullivan. I bust the windows at your car. And she's like, whack.
But she wasn't like the 90s though. She was like the 2000s
like
and 2010s. So it's like I feel like at that point women started to get like, okay, well if these guys are doing it, we could do it too.
Or it's like they were releasing that tension.
They were exactly releasing that energy. So Misha explains what jungle is. So jungle is reggae and drum and bass. I've actually heard it's really dope. If you haven't heard it, obviously want to check it out. Sorry.
Yeah. So I just want to ask, is that like when you say reggae and was it like dancehall and soca where it has all like different rhythms? Like, because I just want to know what your favorite song is so I can go and listen to it. Not just have to go and search like for a bunch of different things. I want to know, like, give me a name featured so and so, blah blah blah.
Jackie needs a resource because she's not sure she'll be able to find it on her own. She feels like if she types jungle, she's gonna get like some jungle noises on Spotify, and that's not what she wants to listen to.
Exactly. My ADHD is gonna kick in. I'm gonna end up listening to like some Frank Sinatra or something.
As you're joining us, let us know in the comments what your favorite genre of music is. If it's not obvious for us to figure it out, or if you just want to give us a little bit of education on it, let us know a little bit about that genre of music and why you love it. I actually created this question and I also find it difficult to answer because I, like Jackie, pretty much listen to a bunch of different musics. I will tell you what my favorite genres are based on moods. So when I'm studying or I'm trying to focus, I listen to a lot of electric music. So I listen to a lot of ESM. I actually have a playlist. It's called Electric Study Music. And so it's a bunch of just instrumentals, electric instrumentals that kind of keep me focused. And I listen to a lot of lo-fi if I'm watching on YouTube. There's like a channel that's always streaming live, lo-fi music. It's really good to keep me concentrating. When I want to like get ready, so like if I'm going out, I listen to dancehall and reggae because I feel like it has to put me in the right vibe. I have to be excited to go out. So I listen to a lot of dancehall. I will put some soca in there depending on the event. Like if it's
I always listen to Whitney. Like Whitney Houston. I want to dance with somebody. And then I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I'm ready to dance with somebody.
So corny, but
that is Jack. And then what else do I do? So if I'm just like cleaning the house, and this is actually funny. So like during the pandemic, was it Twin Star have released like a bunch of different playlists, and when I'm cleaning on a Sunday, it's definitely R&B music. It's usually the 90s. I'll go back to, I think he did a funk or disco one. That one's pretty good to clean to as well. But it has to be some type of music that I can sing to because cleaning is not my favorite thing to do. I know you have to do it. It's just not my favorite task of the day. So I have to be motivated. So I like to listen to R&B. I like to listen to the funk and the disco because it keeps my energy high, because some R&B can be so slow that you're just like, all right, I'm taking a break. And by the time you take a break, you're eating your food, you're watching something on TV, and then the day is gone and now you're mad because you know you needed to adult.
Yeah.
So I see
mine's
we have some
moody too.
You're moody? Go ahead.
No, mine's all about the mood too. Like in the shower, I listen to certain music. Like I want to sing, I perform, and I like the acoustics.
Yo, my shower makes me sound like Bouncy, aka Beyonce, and I just love it. I absolutely love it. I'm like, I will never change the acoustics in this room. It's the best. Now, I don't know what people hear on the outside, but inside, it sounds amazing. Outside, it may not sound as great, but inside, it definitely sounds amazing. I want to get into some comments before we take our first commercial break of the day. So, Troy Richardson, Jack.
I'm a 60s baby, and I love a little of everything, a lot of some. Reasons by EWF, best song ever written, ever.
Oh,
the reasons that we're here. Yeah.
I thought she was going to keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah.
The reasons that we feel our feelings won't disappear.
It's the sound effect for me. It's definitely the sound effect for me. We have
You
another
got
comment
to.
from Carlton Fleming. He says 80s R&B, love some Lionel Richie and Whitney Houston, DMX for hype. So you have to let us know what's your favorite Lionel song, what's your favorite Whitney song, and your favorite DMX song. May he continue to rest in power.
I'm gonna give it to ya.
He did be giving it. He did give it to us though. Like, so we'll actually talk about this after the commercial break. So everyone put a pin in DMX because we definitely have to we have to revisit this. So Michael Anthony Musson says it also depends on his mood, but he tends to have country on. Okay, so you have to also let us know what is your favorite song or what is a resource that we can go tap into when it comes to country, because I feel like
I like a
country
little
comes
country too.
it comes into my playlist because Spotify has like a pretty dope algorithm, but I don't be actively looking for country music. So I'm like, what do I need to listen to? Because sometimes, like I said, it comes on by accident and they're like, oh, this is good, but I never really pay attention to like the artist or go pick up the song. I just like let it continue. So I definitely would like to know a resource from Michael. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and then we will move through our conversation. We're going to have a feel good topic talking about the evolution of music. So you do not want to go anywhere.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert, and we just wrapped up our Feel Good warm-up, and we're going to transition into our Feel Good topic of the day, which is the evolution of music. But before we actually bring in the inspiration for today's topic, I did want to go back to, I believe it was, let me pull up the comments because I don't want to say the name wrong. It was Carlton who mentioned DMX. And so obviously, when X recently passed, you start listening back to some of his music. And I remember listening back because, so we used to know lyrics word for word back in the day, repeating this words, and you always hear your parents say, I hope you know your schoolwork, like, those lyrics, and I actually did. But listening back to some of his songs, I really realized that he spoke about a lot of things that I probably should not have been repeated at that age that I was repeating them. And now looking back, and now I even feel like, that was really intense.
That's what I feel about Foxy Brown and Lil Kim.
Yep.
I listen to some of these songs now and I'm like, I was singing this word for word, going down in the car with my parents, and now I understand why they were looking at me like, why do you know these? But then, of course, my sisters are older than me and my cousins. I'm the youngest. So I was always a tag along with them. So it made sense that I know the words. But the fact that I had no clue what was happening and now I'm listening to it, I'm like, whoa.
I had like no context of what he was saying or what, like you said, those artists were saying. They were just words to me at that point. And then as I got older, I started to like really listen to the lyrics. I was like, OMG, like they are really talking about things I should not have been talking about at 10, 11, and 12. Like, how, Sway? How? But it is what it is. So I actually want to talk about that a little bit more. But it looks like Carlton Fleming's favorite song by DMX is the Rough Riders Anthem. I actually love that song as well. That's definitely my jam. I'm definitely going to have to go listen to that after the show. So let's bring in the inspiration for today's show. So this tweet from Issa Rae, where she is talking about how she was listening to Mint Conditions, Breaking My Heart, and she realized that music guys today aren't as dramatic and desperate enough for her anymore. And it was this tweet that I wanted to kind of hone in on because he said the lyrics aren't dramatic, music videos aren't dramatic. Jodeci was in the desert crying because a girl was going for an entire hour. And that's what they were mad about. So I want to talk about that. We just want to talk about like how over the decades, music has changed its topic of focus, how artists are different as far as like their artists today coming out with like a full package, like they're basically put together, whereas back in the day they were molded, they were, I guess, coach guided to becoming their persona. So we want to talk about all of that today. So obviously, I guess not obviously, but the first thing we kind of want to talk about is, what do you love about the music from your generation? So depending on, like, you know, your coming of age decade, what did you like most about your music? Who were some of the artists and the songs that kind of like make your generation? Like, these are songs that everyone that was born around the same time as you know. And so we want to get into that. Jackie and I are going to talk about that because we're in the same generation. So it's going to be really interesting to see which ones she and I, if we have the same or if there's like some completely different ones. So I want to go back to Michael Anthony Musson because he says Luke Combs is his favorite country artist and Beautiful Crazy is his favorite song from him. So I'm definitely going to check that out. Thank you for that, Michael, because I really would like to know that. So audience, as you're letting us know in the comments, what do you love about your music, your generation's music, excuse me. Let us know in the comments some of the artists that are like the artists that are your generation is known for, your, I guess, genre is known for, and Jackie and I are going to start that conversation. So Jack, first of all, let's talk about what our I guess our time frame is. Like, what would we consider to be the music of millennials?
Oh my God, this is a I feel like a daily argument on Twitter because we try to claim 90s to 2000s, right? Like early 2000s. But then the older generation's just like, how are you claiming that? Because when were you born? I'm like 88, but that doesn't mean I didn't get to listen to it. So I'm still claiming 90s to early 2000s, I guess.
So for me, I would say I think the late 90s, to be quite honest, like, because I mean, I do get it. Like, just because I like in 95, I didn't know. I know the 90s songs now, but in 95, I was 6 years old. So I don't know the music at that time. So I definitely think like 99 to like the 2010s is for me the music of millennials. Like, I think that that's our music, because that's when we started to like really, like, you know, hang out with friends like that, listen to the music. And I think for me, honestly, it's like B2K, like when they became like really popular, and Bow Wow and Little Romeo and all of those guys, that's the music of our generation.
I remember when B2K came out and all the girls were just, I used to get CDs from Music World. So I remember all the girls were like, who's your favorite? And I was embarrassed because everybody was choosing all the other ones. And I would choose Omarion. And I was just like, Omarion, who's my favorite person, this, that, and the other. And I got teased for it because everybody wanted, what's his name?
Lil Fierce?
Yes. And I was just like, no, I want the other one. But yeah. And he's the only one standing now. Look at that.
I was really just going to say, like, he's had the longest career out of all of them in the music space. I feel like some of them have done other things. Like, I think J Boog he went into film. Raz B did music in Asia. Little Fierce like went away and then came back to do music. But I think Omarion has had like consistent music career. He's had breaks, but I think he's had like a consistent career. He went to like Rick Ross's label at one point. Now he's on his own label. So I feel like he's consistently created music throughout his tenure, whereas everyone else kind of like fell off, came back, or went into a completely different area. So we're actually going to come to some audience comments, but I am going to talk about the B2K thing in a bit. So I see that we have Kenton Chuck. Good morning to you, Kenton. He says, I knew every Usher song word for word. LOL. Usher songs were always relatable and spoke to me in some way. And let's just talk about Usher, because I feel like in the beginning, Usher was, and he was 16, right? So, but he was still talking about like things that 16 years probably shouldn't have been talking about. But we get it. It was a different time. I mean,
were they? Because if I think back to 16-year-old boys that we grew up with, or maybe it's just who I grew up with, and the things that he was saying and going through, a lot of our generation were in relationships. They were having intercourse and all that other stuff.
They were sexually active. Yes.
So, I mean, and they were going through the heartbreak of their high school girlfriend dumping them for absolutely no reason other than, you know, she doesn't want to be with you anymore. It's high school. Like,
She's tired. She found this a new guy. There was a little phase to Mario. There was someone else.
We had a school break, and during camp, I met somebody else. It's not you anymore. It's not you. It's me.
But it is you. I found someone new.
Your time has come.
It's time for you to go. So we have this comment from Misha. He says, beats and clever lyrics, the 90s and 2000s hip hop. That's exactly what I think they're known for sure. And I think that's also why a lot of millennials like to kind of, I guess, associate themselves with the 90s too, because we know so much of the music, because as you got older, you know, they still were playing the 90s music. I'm not saying that they weren't still playing that music. That's why we know it. But I definitely feel like the B2K era up until the 2010s, that's the millennials music. So I don't know, folks. Don't be trying to like capture the 90s if you were like just 5. It's also like the kids of the 90s trying to say that the 2000s music is theirs. It's like, no, kid.
Oh, yeah,
like, you just can't. Like you were just born. Like, I get that you know the lyrics, but that's because we played the music over and over. Like, it's or you had a big brother or big sister that was playing the music. Like your point, right? Like you knew the Foxy Browns and the Lil Kim music, not because that was your music, but because your sisters were listening to it. So it was easy for you to like pick up the lyrics. So we have a comment from Karma Mitchell Jones. Jack.
I have found that each generation knows the previous generation's music from listening to what their parents listened to. Then they add their generation's music to their knowledge.
Absolutely agreed. I actually, so when Troy Richardson brought up Earth, Wind and Fire, I'm like, oh, I know just about every Earth, Wind and Fire song that's out there. Luther Vandross. And when the songs come on the radio and I start singing, my mama goes, how you know this music? And I'm like, ma'am, when you were cleaning, this is all you played. Like, this is the music that I had.
My dad does that with Keith Sweat and Keith Urban. Yeah. And I'll sing some of the lyrics and he's just like, you was really with me all the time, huh? And I'm like, yep. Every morning down the car, I would be in the back seat or right in the front, and I'll slip the CD in. And he'll be like, what you know about this? I'm like, you asked me to put the CD in every day. It's routine. And we just sing all the way down, top down. I'm probably freezing because it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And yep, a blast. Memories. Oh, I love music. Music definitely brings people together, and it's definitely some Ross memories.
It definitely does. So we have a comment from Kenton Chart. He says he agrees, Jackie. Terry, maybe I was a little too young, but this is where it's hit. I mean, no, I'm not discrediting that, because I listened to some Usher songs from like hit the beginning of his career, and I'm like, yeah, maybe at the time it didn't make sense to me, but no, I'm going through something. This makes some sense. Like, I totally get it. This is like, yes, Usher. I don't think he was writing his music at that point, but he definitely was singing some songs that everyone could relate to, which then speaks to the whole songwriter part of, you know, music. Like, a lot of songwriters are behind the scenes creating these amazing songs, and then we're like, we only really associate the artist because that's who we see performing it. But some of these songwriters out here going through some things.
Carrie Hilson used to write songs for Beyonce. Remember that situation where she was given praise for the fact that Beyonce did such a great job with her lyrics and how she's coming out and she wants to, you know, perform some of her songs that she's written as well. And the Beehive went in on her. And she's just like, I'm not attacking Beyonce. Like, I'm a part of the Beehive. Like, why are you attacking me? It was just too much. It's still too much.
The Beehive and what's Nicki Minaj's Barbies? That's what they're called.
Or the Barbs.
The Barbs. Those two groups of fans scare me. Like, they actually, and let's talk about that too, because I feel like artists of like maybe the early 70s, 80s, they have fan bases, but I don't think because of things like social media and technology and just like being super present, I don't think it was as obvious to kind of see when a fan would kind of take up for a celebrity then versus now. So if anyone in the comments, you know, remembers the times of like the early music when, you know, you had a celebrity that you really liked and that you would kind of, I guess, defend, but how was it for you to defend your celebrity and like getting news about your celebrity, you know, crush, or the celebrity that you support? Like, what was that like? Because I know for us, Y2K, the internet was like becoming really, really popular. Things were popping up left, right, and center on the internet for you to like stay connected with celebrity news, celebrity gossip. And so it became like a culture, and it's still a culture, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
TMZs of the world, where they're reporting so much information. So like, let's talk about those two groups. Like, you mentioned the Carrie Hilson thing with Beyonce, but like, what else have you seen online when it comes to like super fans like really attacking people when it comes to their favorite celebrity?
The Rihanna Navy, like,
oh yes, I forgot about the Navy.
I've seen where somebody had posted, so this is when she had stopped producing music for a little while. She came up with the lingerie. She came up with the makeup first. Then she came up with the lingerie, and now it's the perfume. But when she had disappeared and everybody was asking for her next CD, what is it? Or oh my God, what number is she on now? 6?
8?
8?
Or 7? Who knows?
Okay.
We're clearly not real Rihanna Navy fans.
It's been so long that honestly, I listen to her music all the time, but I can't remember how many CDs she's had. But somebody had tweeted or put underneath one of her pictures, "We don't care about your makeup. Where's the music?" And people were just like, they're just like, "Whoa, no, I'm a Navy. Like, I'm a part of the Navy. I just want to know, like, yes, I went and bought her makeup. Like, I have all her products. But where is the music? Like, I started to be a fan of you with the music, and I just want some music." And people were going in on this girl. I don't even know if she has social media anymore. I should go check. Go back.
Girl, any comments?
It went bad. And then they actually switched over to the girls. So they went from being underneath her comment to switching and adding her to going over to her page, and they were just like belittling her. They were bullying her. Normally you'd see where the Beehive will go over and they'll just put bees underneath everything, all your pictures.
Yeah.
Or this one, they were like dissing her, and I'm just like, why are you going at this girl? Like, why are you dissing her hairline and all these other things? Like, she just wants music like the rest of us. You want music too. Like, what's the difference? It was almost like Bermuda versus everybody else type situation. The girl was just like, but I'm a part of the club. Like,
I'm Bermudian.
I'm in the club.
I'm also Bermudian. I'm also a part of the same group. But you're mad at me. But okay, I get it.
But we all want the
same
thing. Like, I asked the question. I'm just asking the question that everybody wants the answer to.
And it was an innocent question at that. So I actually want to bring back in this comment from Michael Anthony Musson. He says, "I think Usher is a pretty good definition of millennial music." I agree. I know my favorite Usher album is Confessions. Like, hands down, that's the album that I can listen to start to finish. So audience, let us know in the comments, what's an album that you can listen to from start to finish? Like, there's no skipping. Like, you're not even thinking about, okay, when's this song gonna be over so I can listen to the next song. Like, what is an album that you can listen to start to finish and you're not complaining about it?
Jacky, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
That is a great album. What is it about that album for you?
It's just so many different lessons in it, right? And I like how it's certain songs where they're in the classroom or whatever, and it's just like, what does love mean to you? Tell us what love is. And you hear the class breaking it down, what love means to them. And I was just like, oh my God, we were so innocent, because like,
some of the responses were very
juvenile, but then one of them, the guy went deep, and I was just like, because he was just like, we never heard how, guys talk, so let them talk, like the teacher. And you can hear how much times I've listened to it. And he was just like, love. And he just went in, and I was just like, oh my God, like.
Yeah, I like that album as well.
But then of course it's also the album where she explains how she got pregnant, she had her son, her family was just like, you can't do this, what about your career? And she still brought him into the world, and that was the song Zion. And then you have I just love Lauryn Hill, and then of course it brings you to the Fugees.
Yep,
it's just an ongoing thing, right?
That's one thing I love about music too, like especially when people were in groups, because if you do listen to their solo music, you do end up going back to their group music, and you realize you can hear the differences in them. You're like listening for that person to like, okay, when's their part? Like, okay, like you can just kind of see some of the ways that they've evolved as an artist. And sometimes you end up listening to their solo stuff before their group stuff, and because usually the solo stuff is usually after the group stuff. But however you get to the music is how you get to the music. We're not going to tell you that there's a right or wrong way to get to it, as long as you love the music. So it looks like Kenton Trot shares the same album as me, Confessions. Kenton, you have to let me know, what is your favorite song from Confessions? I know it's going to be difficult, but let me know what's your favorite song from the Confessions album. And then I Am King Tuan says Anti by Rihanna. That is actually a really good album by Rihanna. And I don't think that's my favorite, but I do like that album by Rihanna. When she was making music, she was making music. Like she was doing the thing when she was making her music. And I don't think she's ever going to make music again. Like, let's be honest, she's a billionaire off of the multiple brands that she has. Like, her making music at this point is, she'll do a Beyonce. Like, she'll make she'll make an album and just drop it. Like, she won't even.
Yeah, I see her doing that. I see her not putting pressure on herself and being like, you know what? I feel like singing today. Or, you know, she does her little, well, they all do the little sing rap thing. So I see her just going and being creative and just being like, let's put that with this one. Let's put that with that one. And just saying, all right, send it.
I agree. I really could see her doing like a Lemonade thing. But then I could also see her not doing that, because the comparison between her and Beyonce from the time she started has always been a thing. So I also like, I could see her doing it in such a nonchalant way. I don't think she'll do it similar to Beyonce as far as like how Lemonade was dropped, but I could really see her like dropping a, what is it?
Mixtape?
Not even that, but like, you know how back in the day we used to do like Napster, we used to like download. Like, I feel like I could see her doing something so like off the wall, where it's like you have to go to like one of these really odd, sketchy places on the internet, or you feel like you're in a sketchy place on the internet just to kind of
LimeWire.
LimeWire. That was, I had the green logo in my head, and I was like, what is the name of this thing? LimeWire.
I had to debug my laptop so much. Oh my god. And you know how you download these songs and be excited, and then you play it and be like, this is not the song. Delete. Oh, that was so irritating, because it used to take so long. And I used to put like 20 songs to download, and then I'll leave the house and I'll come back and I'm all excited, and it's got like 18 songs left to download. You're like, what have you been doing all this time? Like, you know how your parents say, what have you been doing all this time? What? I left you. I didn't ask you to do anything except for this, and you didn't even do this.
I had one job.
All I actually did was defrost the chicken. Couldn't even
Let us know in the comments if you remember using those apps, LimeWire, Napster. There's a bunch of them out there. Let us know if you have any stories around using those apps and what your experience was like. I'm going to bring in some comments that we have coming in. Jack, this one's from Shanta Gooden.
Off the Wall by MJ. This was also the only artist I remember being completely in their camp or fan club and being upset about the thought of him with Brooke Shields.
Not upset about who he was dated. Remember, even now, people get really invested in celebrity relationships. Like, these are people that they know, that they call.
I mean, I was disappointed that Michael B. Jordan is no longer available, but I like who he's with. I like who he's with.
I was also disappointed. My chances became null and void.
Because I also didn't want her to be with Future anymore. I'm like, sis, like, your parents went through so much for you to end up with Future. Like,
I just shake my head.
Please know your mom's story. Know what your stepdad went. It's her stepdad, right?
Yeah, he's her stepdad.
Right. But you know, your dad went through, like, he used to sleep in cars to go to shows to be able to make it. Like, all for you to end up with Future. Like, you could have anybody. And now it's like, okay, yeah, she got Michael B. Jordan. I'm a little upset, but we move.
They look like they're really in love, and so I definitely wish them all the best. So we have a comment from Charles H. Jeffers II, Jack.
Anything album from Prince, Michael Jackson, and Earth, Wind and Fire. Showing my age. I mean, we get it. Beat it. All to do is beat it.
Because we can't play music, guys. Jackie has to sing, and then I have to dance. So that's what we do. Yeah. Enjoy. We hope you enjoyed it. So we have another comment from Michael Anthony Mustin. He says, Rihanna has the best birthday, so she does what she wants. I'm assuming that you and Rihanna share the same birthday.
Share the same birthday.
Because that's the only way it's the best birthday. We have a comment from Carmen Mitchell Jen. She says, Ramsey Lewis, Sun Goddess, Prince, Okay, Ramsey Lewis, the album is Sun Goddess. Prince, Purple Rain. Any, I'm assuming Janelle Monáe, and then Maxi Priest, Bonafide. Those are some really good.
I actually really like Janelle Monáe.
I love her. She's so great. She's so dope.
One of her songs, I'm trying to remember what it is, but yeah, I'm not gonna remember the title.
Yeah, Jackie will try, and then she won't. So we'll let her in the background try to see if she remembers. She'll come back in the comments or on social media and be like, "Oh, it's this song." Like, the moment's going, sis. The moment's going. Good morning to you. Good day. Anika Shields, welcome. She says that she didn't have any apps to do the whole downloading of the music, but she had a cassette recorder with the radio and trying to cut off the air to get all the music. Y'all are too young. Actually, pause. Yeah. We are not too young because I absolutely remember doing that, and I used to get so upset when the radio personality would like cut the song too early. I'm like, bruh, I'm not finished. Like, what are you doing? I needed to get to a particular part in the song, and you have decided that it's time to pull the song out, and now I got you talking in my little mixtape.
And you know how you used to spend your time trying to record it, and then I remember one time I did it, and I was playing with the to the dial to rewind to spin it back because the tape had actually gotten a little twisted, and I made a mistake and got it all cracked up and it broke. And I was just like, I quit. I need an update. This is ridiculous. But yes,
we're not too young. We remember.
And you just have to use your pinky.
Yes, that was anything that would fit. That was the worst. Oh my goodness, that was the worst. We have a
unless you had a pencil.
From Michael Arthur C. Phillips. Jack.
Good morning. My all-time favorite album is Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. No skips.
I actually love A Tribe Called Quest. Who's from the Q-Tip, right? Was in that group, I feel like. I'm not the biggest hip-hop fan, but I feel like he was in that group. I only said that because I watched something recently where he was like, was it The Evolution of Hip Hop? There's a documentary on Netflix where they go through hip hop.
Is it still there?
I last checked, it was still there. But Netflix played me because when I clicked on the series, I'm like, oh yes, I love music. I would really like to learn a little bit more about hip hop because I haven't really, outside of just knowing the songs and some of the artists, I didn't know anything else about it. So I'm watching this documentary and I'm wondering like why there are certain references so early in the documentary. Child, Netflix was playing this thing in reverse. So it was playing like the most recent episode and then going backwards. I was like, yeah, you gotta be kidding me, Netflix. You gotta be kidding me. Like, don't you start the series from the beginning? Like, don't you start from the pilot episode? Why am I already at the end? I was very pissed off. Like I almost stopped watching it because I was like, oh, dang it, now I know why some of these things have already happened because I've already got the answer from like 2 episodes. Like, I was really hurt. So it's just a reminder, if you watch anything on Netflix, make sure that you're starting from the beginning and that you're not just, popping into the series at the end, wondering why, all the answers to questions that they were kind of alluding to in the beginning. I was really hurt, really, really hurt. If you're just joining us today, we talked about the evolution of music. You can still let us know in the comments any of your favorite artists, your favorite albums. What is the music of your generation? Because right up next, we're going to get into our feel good vibe of the day, and it's joke time with Jackie. And if this is the first time you're watching us, we like to get your reactions in the comments, or if you're on Facebook, you can go ahead and use a reaction that suits your response to Jackie's jokes. And if you're watching us over there on YouTube, still make sure you hit that like button, but you can drop some emojis in the comments. And if you're on Twitter, do the same. Make sure you run up those hearts and the emojis. It is joke time with Jackie. So without further ado, Jackie is going to give us some jokes.
Okay, I shouldn't laugh before it happens because it's probably not as funny as I think it is.
Because now it's not going to be funny. Watch. Now it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Nadia.
Nadia?
Nadia.
Oh, Nadia. Okay, Nadia.
You gotta say Nadia who?
Oh, Nadia who? I don't even know how to do
Nadia here when the music is playing.
Nadia here when the music. See that? No, I don't get that one. I don't like that
one. How do you not get that one? Nadia here. You're Bermudian, man. We don't use. We don't. Nadia. 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 the whole word properly.
Oh.
Fine. What did the worker at the rubber band factory say when he lost his job?
The rubber band factory?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snap.
You got it! I was hoping again. I'm like, this one Terry's gonna get. And I was just like, please don't prove me wrong. And she got it right.
That one was actually pretty funny because that's the first thing I was like, oh, snap. It's gotta be something related to a snap. It has to be something related to a snap.
Okay, got it.
That was hilarious. Quan is also really, it was funny.
Thank you, Twan.
But Michael Anthony Mustin says, "Oh, geez, joke time with Jackie." You know you loved it, Michael. Let us know in the comments your reaction.
Okay,
Do we have any other jokes?
One more. Okay. How do mountains see?
How do mountains see?
I feel like you're gonna get this one.
They peak. They peak. I knew it had something to do with the peak. I definitely knew it had something to do with the peak.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm doing
you
really
got
good.
2 out of 3. This is awesome. Okay.
So the intention is not for me to figure out the jokes, guys, but it's actually becoming a thing now that I've figured out 2 or close to 2, 1.5. So now it's gonna be a challenge. Now it's gonna be like, can Terry figure out what the joke response is and what the answer is? Kenta loves the joke, so we appreciate that. We do hope that today's Feel Good Vibe of the Day has you ready to make it a great one. Thank you for watching this episode of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terry Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. We trust we'll see you tomorrow for another Feel Good conversation. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.